Yes, what's happening, people? And welcome back to GavGoesIn. We're going to carry on our greats of the game, So again, if some of you are not aware of what the greats of the games are, I just do like a little 5 or 10 minute talk on some of the past players that many fans, might have forgotten, how good these guys are. But yeah, I just enjoy talking about these players of the present, of the past, because, I think a lot of these players are slept on. And again, make sure you go out and check the playlist, because there's quite a few players I've done already that I've discussed. And again, man, we're going to carry it on. And we're going to go to a player for me, in terms of skillful players, magicians with the ball. I think he's a player for me that is often slept on. But I actually do think, he's probably one of the most skillful players of any generation. And again, someone that isn't rated as highly as many other players. And even myself, I even find myself forgetting about how good this player was. And again, I'm going to go through the numbers. And if any of you guys have been watching the channel for any amount of time, I only bring up the numbers, as more or less to show their career, really. But I don't really give a damn about numbers, because having watched these players, it wasn't about numbers. It's just how these guys made you feel watching the game, with the ability that these players had. And a lot of the players that I've done, that I've spoken about so far, their numbers are nowhere near compared to some of the players in this era of football now. So, yeah, I just add them in, and obviously we go through the team and the individual trophies won. And as I say, this player, played in both France, played in England as well. I think he might have played in Turkey, I'm not too sure. But as I said, one of the most gifted, naturally talented players I've ever seen, especially playing the Premier League, And that's none other than Nigeria's Jay Jay Okocha. Jay Jay Okocha, Augustine Okocha, if you know, you know. And what a player he was, man. What a player. I mean, some of the highlights that this guy has got, yeah. I mean, if you guys get a chance, go on YouTube and check out Jay Jay Okocha's highlights, man, because, if anyone remembers the Arsenal game when he was flicking it over, most notably Ray Parlour's head, like, this guy was unreal, man. He was just an absolute magician with the ball, and a player for me that could have played for any team in the Premier League with his ability, yeah. And this I'm trying to say to you, back in the day of when Jay Jay Okocha was at Bolton, if you look at all the lesser teams, yeah, they all had stars in their teams that could have played for the top teams in the league. And this is where the Premier League was at, because if you look at the Premier League right now, there's only probably a couple of players that are playing for the lesser teams that you could say are playing for the top teams in the league. But the likes of Jay Jay Okocha and players like that, Matt Letizier's, the Canios, the Carbones, the Ravanellis, the Emersons, the Janinios. These guys were playing for the lesser teams, yeah? But these guys were regarded as some of the best players in the league. And that's where the Premier League was at, So Jay Jay Okocha, for me, is definitely one of them. So let's go through Okocha's his numbers, yeah? So 527 appearances in total, 108 goals, 62 assists. 73 caps for Nigeria with a return of 14 goals. So again, not really groundbreaking, but as I mentioned earlier, we didn't really watch Okocha for the numbers. It was just the amount of quality this guy had on a daily basis playing for the clubs. So he played for Borussia Neunkirchen. Never heard of them, to be honest. 24 appearances, 6 goals. Eintracht Frankfurt, 116 appearances, 25 goals, 18 assists. Fenerbahce, 79 appearances, 33 goals, 19 assists. PSG, PSG always have these kind of players. Okocha, Ronaldinho, Neymar, they always have these mercurial players, man. PSG, 113 appearances, 20 goals, 9 assists. Bolton, 145 appearances, 18 goals, 11 assists. And then played in the Qatari League, 31 appearances, 6 goals, 2 assists. And then Hull City, 19 appearances, 0 goals, and then the 3 assists. And then team awards, you know, 1 African Cup of Nations with Nigeria, 1 Olympic Games with Nigeria. You've got the Afro-Asian Cup of Nations, I believe Nigeria as well. 1 Turkish Cup with Fenerbahce. A Prime Minister's Cup. I mean, I never heard that one. 1 Intertoto Cup. You know, that was back in the day. I think the Intertoto Cup might have been the Cup Winners' Cup before, back in the day. Can't remember. Big up to Arsenal. 1 Liga, obviously with PSG. And then the Championship playoff winner with Hull City. Then individual, 2 African Footballer of the Year awards. Again, that is surprising because, you know, the quality of player that Okocha was, you probably would have expected him to win more. But then again, I think players like George Ware, you know, I think Finidi George might have been there. Kind of think Kanu. There's loads of African players, top players there, so that's probably why. 1 AFCON player of the tournament, 1 AFCON Golden Boot, and then 7 Nigerian Footballers of the Year. So, again, man, great career for Jay Jay Okocha. As I said, you know, this was a player that I watched regularly when he came to Bolton. And again, he was doing a lot of the things that this league had never seen. You know, as I said, flicking it over players' heads. Just the class he just possessed, man. And what I liked about Okocha, you know, you can always tell a sign of a top player, you know, through the first touch, the technique. And just like Ronaldinho, because I liken Jay Jay Okocha to what Ronaldinho was doing. These guys, not only are these guys incredibly gifted and skillful, these guys had the strength to match as well. So it's a thing where they had the strength to hold off players and just do what they wanted. And this is why, when you look at players like Neymar, yeah, Neymar is criminally underrated because whereas you've got the physicality of Ronaldinho and Okocha, Neymar was built like a stick, really, if we're being honest, yeah. But the amount of skills that Neymar used to do, you know, and the audacity that he had to do it in any part of the pitch, someone of his build really had no right to do that. And that's how good Neymar was, because he's doing things that you would expect of a player that can hold off players and do that. And he done that, you know, with the kind of physique that he had, which wasn't really of a strong build like a Okocha or a Ronaldinho, you know. But yeah, man, Okocha, what a player he was. You know, one of many that wore the number 10 shirt, you know, as well at Bolton. He wore it, and for Nigeria as well. And yeah, man, top player. So yeah, man. Again, if any of you guys watched Okocha, let me know what you think, man. Because when it comes to the number 10s, he's often slept on because everyone speaks about Ronaldinho, Zidane, you know, obviously Messi, Totti, Del Piero, Riquelme, you know, Pablo Aimar. Obviously, I know he never wore number 10, he wore number 21. But players like that played in the number 10 position, Bergkamp, these guys are often slept on. And as I said, man, if you look at just how good Okocha was, don't look at him playing for Bolton, you know, because as I said, in that time, all those teams had top players. And he could have easily played for any team in the world. He was that good, Okocha. But guys, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of Jay Jay Okocha. Was he criminally slept on? Or was he someone that found his level? Which I don't think he did at Bolton. But yeah, let me know what you think. Smash the like button, sub to the channel. Make sure you share the channel as well. And yeah, I'll catch you guys for the next one. Take it easy.